Today we're kicking off another reloading series. What we're doing in this video is we're starting part 1 of Reloading 223, and we're going to be sizing in this video, and that's coming up next here on Jesse B Outdoors Reloading. Welcome back everybody, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below if you like videos like this. First off, I like to thank RCBS. Because of RCBS, we're going to be using a lot of their products in this series of videos. So I like to give a huge shout out to RCBS. They didn't send everything out to the channel we're going to be using, but we're going to be using a lot of their products. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to size this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through all the components I'm going to be using to size the 223, and then we're going to do 50 rounds of it. Don't worry, if it gets any boring, we'll speed through some of it, but I want to make sure you people know what to look for, and we're just putting this back to factory spec. We're not doing no shoulder bumping or anything. These are going to be made to shoot in an AR. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, for components today, we're going to be using for dies, we're going to be using the Lee Ultimate 223 die set here. Now what this does is it comes with a sizing die and sizing decapping die. Then it comes with a bullet seating and crimp die. And then it also has a Lee factory crimp die. It also has a neck sizing die in it, but we won't be using that. We're just going to be using the regular sizing die. And I've already got the shell holder in here. The reason why I'm doing this series with Lee is because I think the new reloader or beginning reloader is going to go with a set of Lees because they're the most affordable. So then what we are going to be using for brass, we have just got mixed range brass here that we're going to be using. We're going to be doing all this on my RCBS Rock Chucker Supreme here. And then how we're going to lube it, we're going to use the RCBS case lube pad. And then we're going to use their case slick here to lube up, because you need to lube your brass here so they don't get stuck in the dies. Rifle rounds, as far as I know, not many of them are carbide. They're all steel dies, so you need to make sure you got them lubed up, because a stuck case is a pain in the butt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to set my die up and show you how I check it. And speaking of that, we got my Lyman case gauge here, and that's how we're going to check the rounds to see what we need in this video. Alright, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lube up 10 pieces of brass here. Now the reason why I'm going to do that is that's going to help me get the die set up here. So we're going to pop this open here. And we're just going to spray some of our case lube here right onto the mat here. Some people do a lot of this, some people don't do a lot. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I want to make sure these cases get lubed here. So we got that on there. And then we're just gonna start with 5. We'll put 5 pieces of brass on here. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll these in that lube, and that way these are nice and lubed up so they do not get stuck on there. So now we got that set up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our die set up. Now for die set up here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this threaded in. Then I'm going to put the handle down. I'm actually going to move my chair here and give me a little bit more room here. Raise my ram, and I'm just going to make this come down and kiss the shell holder here, which is about right there. So now we got that in there. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to tighten the nut down all the way to get it to where I want it. Alright, now what you want to do now that we're tight here is you just want to snug this. You do not want to get it very tight at all. Like I said before, if you get it too tight, you take a risk of backing the big nut out that the die goes into. There's no sense of He-Man in it. Just get it snug here. So now, that's pretty much the way I'm going to start off with this setup here. I don't do no cam over or anything. I don't do nothing fancy. Like I said, this is going to be a basic reload that I'm going to shoot in the ARs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my lubed cases here, put it in the shell holder, and I'm going to run it up in here and resize and decap it. Now I'm going to bring that back down. Now the reason why we got to resize it, I'll grab a once fired piece of brass here. Got my case gauge here. You drop this down and you can see how it don't go into the case gauge. You need to size your brass to make sure that it fits down in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my Zokum towels here. I do have a video on these. These are very nice microfiber towels. So I'm going to take this out of here. I'm actually going to move that priming system out of the way because we don't need that for this video. I'm going to wipe down this case real quick, get all the lube off of it. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put it in our case gauge here. Drop it down, and you can see how now it's flush in there. Nothing is sticking out of it. I like that very much. Now, the other thing this case gauge is good for is find a flat surface. And you lay that on the flat surface. And if you see the brass sticking up above right down here, then you know you need to trim them. We are going to be trimming in this video series. This is all range brass. I don't know where I got it all from or anything. So that's going to be part of the next video, is we're going to be trimming this. So now right there we have got our first piece of size brass. And we know we are good to go on that because it drops right down into the case gauge. And then it drops right out, and that's what you want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to finish these 5 up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all these. I'm just going to size them. And then what I'll do is I'll go back through and I'll wipe them off at the end. Because I don't want to keep all that case lube and everything on there and get it all gunked up for other processes and everything. You only need it for this. Now you can see what happened here with the Lee factory crimp die. It pushed the pin up right there. This has got a military crimp on it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to knock that back down here. And then we're going to have to knock this primer out again. But right there, now we know that we're going to have to remove the military crimp, at least on this one. Sorry about that. I wanted to get a wrench to tighten this back up here. And my boy took my other wrench and I don't know where it went. This one wasn't a military crimp. It was actually this collet loosened up on this. I know some people, like CW Longshot, what he'll do is he'll actually drill a hole in these and he'll put a roll pin in there and they'll keep that from going up. Other people don't like messing with it for the simple fact, like we showed here, that it's made to go up when it does that. All personal preference there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some more of these lubed up and I'll be right back. Alright, we got 10 more of these lubed up here. So what I would like to know is how often do you guys reload 223? Do you do it a lot? Do you do it a little? And what do you shoot them out of? Like I said, I got nothing but ARs that I'm shooting these out of. So I just like putting mine back to factory spec. I really don't get into doing the shoulder bumping and all that just for that reason, because I have no reason to. But I'd like to know what you guys reload for. Semi-auto, bolt action. Do you do precision shooting? Do you guys long range shooting? A lot of people do long range shooting, even with 223. Let me know in the comment down below about that. Now, I know you guys know, if you follow the channel, I use 3 presses. I use this one, the Lee classic turret press, and then I also have my Dillon RL550C. Why am I doing it on the RCBS Rock Checker Supreme here? To me, I like having my brass ready to roll, mostly when I use my Lee classic turret press and my Dillon. So I do all my sizing, trimming, case prep all beforehand, so I don't have to worry about it. And that basically leaves it so I can run the progressive like you should. I don't like doing progressive reloading or any of the other reloading while the cases have lube on them. I just don't want to get no contamination or anything on anything else. That's why usually you guys see me size and prime on this press at the same time. And I'm not doing that in this video because of the case lube. I don't want to take a chance of that case lube getting on my primers. So we will be doing that in a different step here. Like I said, this ain't a you need to do. This is just how I do 223. So what we're going to do now is I know a lot of times you guys like hearing the press going. So we're going to lube up 10 more cases here, which just takes a second. You just got to roll them on that pad here real quick. You guys can see right there. Get them rolled in. And now I'm just going to be quiet for these 10 so you guys can hear the press. just like that, we got 10 of these knocked out here with absolutely no problems. Looks like that one did have a military crimp in it, so I'm going to have to watch that and go through that when we do our next process here. So another thing we're going to do is we're going to throw 10 more back on the pad here. I like doing them in 10s in a row just so I can keep track of where they are. So we're going to put these 10 on here. And we are just going to roll them back and forth here, get the lube on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it by 2s. That usually, as long as my fingers will work, will help me go a little bit quicker on these. So you pick 2 up, put 1 in, go up, size it, pull it out, slide the other one in. If you got fingers that work, this usually makes it go quicker. So I really like that. The one problem I have is the way this primer catch is set up. Sometimes I hit my fingers on it trying to do it like this. But just so you guys know, this is another way you can do it. My fingers aren't working too good today, so I'm going to go back to single. But I just like showing you guys how stuff works, just to make things go a little bit quicker. Now, the one thing with the rifle brass is the prep on it. It's got a lot more prep on it. That's why a lot of people don't like reloading it. I can tell you guys right now, that's one reason why I don't reload it much. Oops, drop that on the floor. I'll have to pick that up. Man, this thing's had a couple of primers go flinging. But that's one reason why I never done it, because my hands are bad and I did all the case prep, a lot of it by hand. And I didn't want to do that because it really hurt my hands. But now that I got the RCBS Brass Boss case prep center here, now I'm starting to love it, enjoy it a little bit more. So that's why you're seeing more videos on it here. But we'll get 10 more lubed up here. Now, if there's something that you guys do different than what I'm showing you guys here, leave a comment down below, because that's a great thing about our community, is everybody does something different. So leave a comment down below if you do something a little bit different than I do. And that way people can go down in the comments and check them out. Because I'm all about trying to help new reloaders where I can. Because it's a great hobby and I want to help everybody out. So leave that comment down below. Like I said, I don't get into the shoulder bumping, this, that, and everything else. But there's other great channels out there. Ones that I like watching, like CW Longshot. He does great videos on that. And there's other great channels out there. And since I'm talking about CW, also go on to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday nights on YouTube. And it's a bunch of reloaders on there. Great topics and stuff. I'm not on there much anymore, but they're all a great bunch of dudes to learn from. Go on there and you can learn a lot from those guys. But right now, if I can get this out of here, we are down to our last 2 rounds of sizing. It goes pretty quick here. I didn't want these to be too awful long of videos. But there you go. We got 50 of these sized now. And like I said, I'll just go back through now and I'll wipe down all these cases before I move on to the next step. Alright, now I got all these wiped down here. Got all the oil off of it. And the main reason why you want all the oil or lube, whatever you're using off of it, is because, like I said, the next step I do is the case gauge here. Drop it down. I check and make sure that right there it is nice and flush and it drops back out. Now you don't want to get that lube gunked up into your case gauge here. And also, after every time I do this, another thing I do is I get some alcohol on a Q-tip and I clean this out here. And then this is just what I do. I sit here, grab a couple of rounds, put them in, make sure they are flush, and then drop them out. So far, most of the time that I've done this, if I just kiss the shell holder with the sizing die, everything comes out pretty good. Now, if you run into an issue, that's where you're going to have to start moving around your die if for some reason it don't drop down in here and move back out. That's because it ain't resized right and it ain't got the shoulder where it needs to be to pass this gauge. So I'm going to finish this up here. So let's go back up on top and finish out this video and tell you my final thoughts. So as you can see here, there's really nothing to size in the brass on there as long as you want to take it back to factory spec. The biggest thing I say is get yourself a case gauge here. If you don't have a case gauge, you can use the chamber in whatever gun you're using. Just drop it in there and it should drop back out when you flip the barrel upside down. This makes it a lot nicer though, because it's a lot easier to handle this than a big old long barrel to try to do a plunk test with. And so far with using this, I've never had an issue with any rounds firing because they pass this gauge, and this is a big step to have. Now, one thing I want to know from you guys is leave a comment down below because everybody's different. In this video, I was using the RCBS case lube. I also have the Hornady lube that you put on. And then there's Hornady One Shot. There's a bunch of different ones. Imperial is another one. Leave a comment down below on what you guys like using for sizing lubricant. That way it gives people an idea of why you like it and why you think it's the best, because it might convince somebody else to start using it. And that's what I want my reloading channel to be, is a resource for knowledge. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I got people that watch my channel that are, and they put some very good stuff in the comments down below. So always go down in the comments to read. So as you can see here, the sizing was very nice and easy. So next video will be part 2, and what we're going to do in that video is we're going to trim the brass, and then we're going to chamfer and deburr it. And if any of them got military crimps in it, because I did find a couple more, I'm just going to show you guys a quick way to knock the military crimps out without going through all the procedures like I did in the other one. So that'll be the next video. So as always, don't forget to check the links out down below. Down there I have links to Axil Hearing Protection, Gators Eyewear, and a bunch of other companies I like dealing with. Some got discount codes to save you guys money. Others are affiliate accounts that do help out the channel. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. We are One Nation Under God, and I'll see you all on the next one.